when Dan Garrett was completely recovered. From Mike Manigan and Mary Donnelly, the commissioner's daughter, who came to visit him, he learned that the commissioner had ordered extensive raids on all opium dens in the city. At one place, they told him, the police had been blown to bits by dynamite planted by the dope ring before they fled. Dan insisted on being released from the hospital and restored to duty. By mid-afternoon, he's back on his beat, fully recovered to health and strength by Dr. Franz's magic formula. That night, he visits the little apothecary shop of Dr. Franz.
Hello, Doc.
Hello, Danny. Well, my 2X formula worked, didn't it?
It sure did. Hey, have a look at this.
A bullet, huh?
Yeah, that came out of me.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's have a look at it under the microscope. Wait till I close up shop. Pull down the shades, will you, while I lock the door?
All right.
There. Now we'll just give this bullet the once-over under the microscope. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed.
What is it, Doc? Have you got something?
I think so. This bullet was fired from a show-show.
A show-show? What's that?
Why, that's what the soldiers in the last World War called a certain type of French machine gun, because they couldn't pronounce the real name.
Boy, that ought to be easy to trace. There can't be many of those in this town. Got any ideas?
Well, there's a French novelist by the name of Philip Layton who collects interesting firearms as a hobby. He might know something about this gun.
Out into the night went Dan Garrett on the trail of the murder gun. But a changed Dan Garrett. No longer is he in the blue uniform of the city's finest. He wears blue, but it's the blue chain armor of the Blue Beetle.
The Blue Beetle! Drop that gun, Raiden. I've got you covered. It's no use, Raiden. Your bullet can't pierce this chain armor I'm wearing. I'm sorry to be so rough, Raiden, but I wanted that gun of yours. Now pick yourself up. That's better. I see you recognize my little calling card. The sound of my magic ray machine and the little beetle always signifies the presence of the Blue Beetle.
You frightened me, monsieur. I fired from nervousness. I had no desire to injure the Blue Beetle.
I see.
Oui, monsieur. What is it you desire?
I understand you have an interesting collection of firearms.
Oh, I make the hobby of collecting unusual firearms, monsieur.
Do you own a show automatic machine gun?
Oui, monsieur.
You have the only one in the city, I believe.
Oh, perhaps, monsieur. I do not know.
I'd like to see it.
Certainly, monsieur. Right this way.
And no funny business.
Monsieur, I am not in the mood for what you call these funny business.
Good.
Now, here you are, monsieur. This is the gun cabinet. The show, she is... Monsieur, she is gone.
Gone?
Oui, monsieur. Always, she is here in this place.
Come on, Raiden. Your pretended surprise sounds phony to me.
I
Cut it out,
told you
Frenchie. Maybe you're on the level, then again, maybe you're not. I'll just dust this door for fingerprints and take a photograph. Now, you stand over there and don't make any false moves. Now, let me see. A little here. Some more here. Several fingerprints. Some of them yours, of course. Bring that floor lamp over here while I photograph these. Now, hold it steady. That's right. Now. That's got it.
Oh, you find something?
Maybe yes and maybe no. Now, you get this straight, Raiden. If you want to finish that novel or whatever you were typing when I came in, just forget you ever saw the Blue Beetle.
Oh, I assure you, monsieur, I have no wish
Good.
to be...
If you're on the level, you're safe. If you're not, well, the next time you meet the Blue Beetle, it'll be just too bad.
Whom will the Blue Beetle call upon next? Whose fingerprints were on the doors of the gun case? Is Radon, the French novelist, a member of the dope ring? Let's look in on police headquarters. The time is close to midnight. Manigan is holding down the desk while the sergeant is out for a bite to eat.
Sure, and I wish the sergeant would get back. I'd like me little trundle bed and some shut-eye. Oh.
Take it easy, Manigan. You won't get hurt. You You always wanted to meet the Blue Beetle. Well, here he is. It's no use to struggle. The Blue Beetle is stronger than you are. I'll just stuff this handkerchief in your mouth and then tie you up. And I'll carry you into the room where you keep the fingerprint files. There you are. Now, over my shoulder you go up the daisy. Here we are. Now, just lie there like a good little boy. I want to examine these files. Let me see. Type 27B, 28B, 29, 30, 31B. Yes, that looks like it. Fingerprints of Joe Bugs McGotti, and here's his photograph. Yes, Mr. Bugs McGotti, those are your fingerprints, all right. You're the guy that stole that murder gun. Well, Mr. Bugs McGotti, you're going to get nipped by the Blue Beetle and nipped hard.
Reach for the ceiling, Mr. Blue Beetle.
Ah, the beautiful daughter of the police commissioner.
Don't move. I'll shoot if you do.
I have no intention of moving unless it's to step within the aura of such a charming person as yourself, Miss Donnelly.
What are you doing here? And why is you gagged and tied up Officer Manigan there?
I'm here to obtain evidence against the opium gang your father is trying to round up. I tied up Officer Manigan there to prevent his interfering.
Why didn't you enlist his aid? After all, he's working on this case.
The Blue Beetle works alone.
But how do I know you're working for rather than against my father?
Well, if my charming captor will lower that toy revolver which he's holding in an none too steady hand, the Blue Beetle will tell her something to gladden her father's heart.
Very well. But don't try any tricks.
Not a trick, my dear young lady. Now listen. I promise you that before daylight your father will have the opium gang under lock and key, together with enough evidence to convict them.
How do I know you'll keep your promise?
Let this seal my promise.
Oh.
Good night, my sweet. I'd like to linger after that kiss, but the Blue Beetle has a duty to perform.
Take me with you, Blue Beetle. Let me stand by your side when you... He's gone. Maybe to die alone. No, I can't let him. I must help him. I must.
Like a bloodhound on the trail once he gets the scent, the Blue Beetle sped on his mission. And like the bloodhound, he'll never let up till he runs his quarry to earth. But close on his heels goes the commissioner's daughter, determined to have a part in the roundup of the nefarious gang of dope peddlers. Little did she know that close behind as she hurried down the darkened street, a car was slowly following her.
There she goes. That's the commissioner's girl.
Let's nab her now. Oh, wait till she passes that street light. Now, out you go. Make it snappy and keep it quiet.
Okay, boss.
Excuse me, lady.
What? Who are you?
Grab her. Come on.
Let me go.
I got her. Come on. Okay, here's the car. I'll stick this tag in her mouth. There. Now open the door. We got it, boss.
All right, come on in. The commissioner will pay a big dough to get his darling daughter back alive.
Where is the Blue Beetle? Will the Blue Beetle be able to rescue the beautiful daughter of the police commissioner? Will he locate the hideout of the dope ring? Will he be able to collect enough evidence to convict them? Through the silent night, down by the waterfront, two powerful cars are speeding along. The first car is full of men, hard-looking men, desperate men, killers all. But who is this lone occupant of the second car? Ah, yes, it is the Blue Beetle.
That looks like the car that passed me the day I was machine gunned. I'll just follow her. It may lead me to the dope peddler's hangout. They suspect me. They've got a machine gun pointing out of the